Ain't got no boundaries to hold me back. Boundaries is what I lack. Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Conflation Station. Hop on board the next train out, and let's take a ride to a place where anything's possible.
Hello and welcome to the Conflation Station. My name is Hugo Yorway and I'll be your tour guide for today's podcast, including political commentary, conspiracy theories, and some cool music from the Electric Love Orchestra. At the Conflation Station, our team of creative writers and novice journalists combine elements of irony, satire, and pure absurdity to create insightful political commentary and homespun conflated conspiracy theories taken from today's news headlines. With all the misinformation, disinformation, malinformation out there, and where fake news is generated by artificially intelligent robots, whether you want to believe it or not, anything you hear on the network news today might just as well be a work of fiction. To the contrary, at the Conflation Station, you can always count on us as your most trusted news source, exercising the utmost journalistic integrity and fairness. And if you're still wondering where the Reverend Rusty Stubblefield has taken off to, you can still listen to his political insights and social commentary, along with him singing the music of Dude X, by listening to the Rusty Stubblefield for President show, broadcast weekly from the Conflation Station's affiliate in Frankfort, Kentucky. Today, our podcast features stories about Trump's zombie apocalypse and the perils of the teaching profession. With the government shutdown now into its second month, the longest government shutdown ever in U.S. history, noted scholars are now calling the shutdown Trump's zombie apocalypse. In the Trump zombie apocalypse scenario, the living dead are the Trump supporters who comprise the MAGA movement. In this segment of our weekly podcast, we examine some disturbing facts about Trump's zombie invasion of the United States that no other news network seem to want to talk about. Why not? Because the mainstream news media fears that their licenses will be revoked by the Trump administration and that they will be sued by the president himself. Not an unreasonable fear given President Trump's petulant nature. At the Conflation Station, we view the failure of these large news networks to air this story as an act of complete cowardice and want to take this opportunity to call them out on it. At the Conflation Station, we value freedom of the press and are committed to journalistic activism, the reason we bring this story to you, our listeners, today. We believe that if the Trump MAGA zombie movement is not stopped, it will completely eat away at the heart and soul of America. As a result of Trump's zombie invasion, hundreds of thousands of people are out of work and/or will be working without pay during this holiday season. People are struggling to pay their monthly bills, rent, mortgage loans, car payments. People cannot afford groceries and are standing in bread lines analogous to those that snaked through U.S. cities during the Great Depression. People can no longer afford what was once known as affordable health care. Families with young children and the elderly who once received SNAP benefits and Medicaid are now living at the subsistence level, wondering where their next meal is going to come from. Tariffs have caused businesses in the U.S. economy to tank. U.S. citizens are being snatched from city streets, the very same city streets they scavenge for their daily survival, and are being sent to internment camps without due process. Women have been stripped of their right to control their own bodies. Trump's zombie tariffs have placed American farmers and many businesses in financial jeopardy. It is frightening to see how quickly America has devolved into a primitive and tribalistic society as a result of the Trump zombie invasion. Americans fear that if they speak up against Donald Trump's zombie regime, they will be captured by masked Trump zombie guardsmen cloaked in ICE uniforms and will be either imprisoned, deported, or both. Zombie leader Trump has sent a strong signal to all Americans that they should keep their eyes and ears closed and their mouths shut for fear of the wrath of Trump zombie retribution. And while zombie leader Trump inflicts his reign of terror on poor, needy, and innocent Americans, the wealthy in America continue to flourish, living in excess and opulence created for them by Trump in his cryptocurrency zombie-topia. Many Americans are destitute, living in abject poverty and scarcity, fighting over scraps of food every day. If you are not one of those Americans today, don't hold your breath. Your time will be coming soon. The Trump zombie invasion is coming to a city or town near you, and based on our reporting, that is a fact of which you can be certain. Board up your windows and place heavy furniture behind your doors, because the Trump zombie brigade is on its way to get you. Who are the masterminds behind the Trump zombie apocalypse? They are Stephen Miller, the authors of the Project 2025 Plan for America, and Donald Trump himself. And the zombie empire is funded by Trump's multi-billionaire colleagues. Once the Trump zombie takeover is complete, the United States will come to be known as, quotes, the country of the living dead, end quotes. No wonder Trump's approval rating has reached an historic low. And now, let's take a pause to escape from this frightful reality and try to enjoy a musical interlude featuring a piece by world-renowned composer E. Dude X, performed by the inimitable Rusty Stubblefield and the Electric Love Orchestra, entitled MRI. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back with another conflated conspiracy theory.
I was walking down the street minding my own business, and suddenly I heard a very loud sound. So I turned around to look and couldn't believe my eyes. There was a man under a piano lying dead on the ground. Something's gonna get you when you least expect it. Something's gonna hit you right over your head. Something's gonna get you when you least expect it. Something's gonna get you. It's gonna get you. Something's gonna get you when you least expect it. Something's gonna hit you right over your head. Something's gonna get you when you least expect it. Something's gonna get you. It's gonna get you.
Thank you, boys and girls. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Remember, the Electric Love Orchestra's complete catalog is available online at Bearberry Path Music. Our next story comes from a file entitled From the Classroom to the Courtroom and focuses on the perils of today's teaching profession. Last week, a school teacher who was severely injured after being shot in the chest by a 6-year-old student in her classroom finally had her day in court. As a result of her injuries, the teacher sued the school's assistant principal for $40 million. The trial was telecast nationally, and as of this podcast, the case is still pending a judge's decision. When we at the Conflation Station learned about this case months ago, we assigned a team of novice journalists to look into whether or not there were other similar court cases on record. What our team of investigative reporters found was astounding. The $40 million lawsuit filed by the Virginia teacher was just the tip of the iceberg and paved the way for numerous other recent copycat lawsuits in several different states. For example, we learned that a substitute teacher in a Vermont classroom who was pelted by a barrage of spitballs by 6th graders after they returned from lunch recess filed suit in district court seeking $20 million in damages. In the lawsuit, the substitute teacher alleged that, quote, as a result of being struck by saliva-drenched wads of paper, she, the substitute teacher, went home sick with a cold and fever at the end of the school day, end quote. The lawsuit also named several school cafeteria workers, alleging that they were both complicit in the attack and negligent for having given students access to the straws. The lawsuit described the straws as, quotes, weapons of class destruction, end quotes. Since this lawsuit involved multiple defendants, it was filed as a class action complaint. No pun intended. The case was settled out of court for $535,000. In Florida, a substitute teacher, after being hit by a paper airplane, filed suit in Superior Court seeking a $10 million judgment against the family of the student who threw it. The complaint alleged that while the paper airplane hit the substitute teacher in her right ear, much like that fake Trump assassination attempt, If it had landed only 5 centimeters to the other side of her right temple, it could have poked her eye out. This case settled out of court for $50,000, plus an all-expense-paid week-long trip for the teacher and her wife to visit Disney World in Orlando. A high school math teacher working in Alabama filed suit against his local school board alleging that on April Fool's Day of 2024, he went into cardiac arrest after sitting on a whoopee cushion placed on his desk chair by the students in his classroom. The math teacher sought $5 million in compensatory damage and 1 week's detention for each student in the classroom. The math teacher's complaint asked the jury to consider the following, quote, with 32 students in the class, each serving a 30-minute detention for a total of 5 days, how many minutes in total will the entire class have to serve detention? End quote. In other miscellaneous court filings, our reporters found a case in which a Pennsylvania art teacher sued the parents of a first-grade student for $1 million after receiving an apple on her desk with a worm in it as a gift. And finally, a special needs teacher sued the parents of a child in her classroom diagnosed with autism for repeatedly scratching her nails on the chalkboard. In the lawsuit, the teacher alleged that she can no longer get a good night's sleep and has taken up drinking alcohol and using tranquilizers to calm her nerves. The lawsuit asked the jury to consider awarding the teacher $4 million in compensatory damages and providing her with an early retirement buyout at age 40. The parents of the autistic child filed a countersuit against the special needs teacher for failing to provide their child with the services documented in the child's individual education plan as required by law. The child is currently attending a private residential special education program at a cost of $750,000 per year, and the school district's director of special education was promoted to the position of superintendent of schools.
Well, we've reached our destination. We'll be back next week to pick you up for yet another journey to and from the Conflation Station.